Hey guys, this is Sukanya Rana and welcome to Streak Initiative, where we are covering some important themes which are related to your prelims paper of 2021. So this week it's Polity edition and we'll be covering few ideas from your polity based questions. And again, before I move on to the first question of the day, make sure to subscribe to this particular initiative. You can find the link in the description box where you can register for Streak Initiative. You will get all the PDFs of all the questions clubbed together. You will get current affairs related PDFs like burning issues, RSTV, Yojana, etc. all for free. So let's move on to the first question of the day, which is related to your collegium system in judicial appointment. Now this particular question, this particular theme has been in news for a very long time period, and again what we see is a lot of time this is repeated. Like recently what happened, Supreme Court had suggested some names and the government did not take action very on a fast note, and they have been pending for a long time. So Supreme Court made a remark on that again. So the NJC and the collegium have been in news and they do come up again through one means or the other means. So it's important that you have clear understanding about what the NGC was and what the collegium system was. So here in this question what we're dealing with is collegium system. You have to tell me which is the correct statement here. We've got number one, a Supreme Court collegium is led by its Chief Justice and 4 other senior most judges of the court. Number 2 is names recommended for appointment by the High Court collegium reaches the government only after the approval by CGI and the Supreme Court collegium. And the third statement here is that the government cannot raise any objections, seek no clarifications regarding the collegium choice. So it's common knowledge. I think the basic problem with the fight between collegium and NGC was who's to appoint, who's to head the appointment of judicial appointments. So that is what, like in NJC, the government is going to have a say, but the problem, the government said that collegium is completely controlled by the judiciary itself. That was the basic problem that the government had raised. So if you have that basic understanding, I think the first statement is very much correct. Supreme Court collegium is in fact led by CGI and other 4 senior most judges. So statement 1 is absolutely right. Also statement 2 is right, because even though there might be a High Court related collegium, it ultimately goes to the Supreme Court and that is where the final say is made, and then the names are recommended to the government. Alright, because if you remember in current affairs, there was some appointment related to High Court also, which the collegium has suggested, and government did not take action quickly on them, and that is why the Supreme Court had made remarks. So in that connection also you could say that the statement 2 is also right, but statement 3 is not right, because the government can raise certain concerns, they can raise certain objections. But if the collegium again verifies it and suggests the same name, then it is binding upon the government and they have to appoint them as judges. So statement 3 is wrong and the answer of this particular question becomes A. Next we move on to a commission, which is Rohini Commission. Again, this commission was in news. So it's important, any polity related commission that is there in the news, you should know what is it for, what was the basic objective behind it, any other key feature that is to be known about that particular commission, then that's important. So with respect to this commission, the first statement is that it was established to work out the mechanism in a scientific approach for sub-categorization within OBC. And second is that it recommended 33% reservation in jobs and education under the central and the state government for OBC. So you have to identify which is the correct statement here. Again, if you've gone through your current affairs, I think Rohini Commission, you would remember that yes, it is related to subcategorization within OBC. Now this issue of subcategorization is again cropping up because there are certain section of OBC which have which are particularly in need of reservation, but they have not been able to achieve that. So the idea of subcategorization again within OBC is so that it can be made more inclusive. More and more people who are needful of reservation can actually get it. That is the basic idea behind subcategorization. And the government, in fact, some of the state governments have done it. So that kind of idea is now looked into. The second statement here is wrong. It's not 33%, it's 27%. So the answer for this particular question is A. And again, I'll tell you one thing. Any commission that is being set up and which is there in the current affairs, make sure you go through the basic essentials of that particular commission. The next question is on a bill. Again, all the acts and the bills have also become very important nowadays from prelims point of view. Earlier, we used to think that acts and bills might only come in mains. But nowadays, there's a trend that UPSC are picking up recent polity related acts also. They're asking a few ideas on them also, or through those acts, they're also linking that to the static portion. So it's important that you are able to understand various bills and various acts. So one such bill that we're going to pick up is DNA technology bill. Again, that was there in news a lot of time. I think it's been there in news for for 2-3 years now. Under the bill, DNA testing is allowed only in respect of matters in the schedule of the bill. And second statement is the bill provides for establishment of National DNA Data Bank and Regional DNA Data Bank for every state or two or more states. So you have to identify the correct statement with respect to these two statements, and the answer for this particular question is C. Both the statements are correct. Again, have a brief idea behind these bills and the acts that are brought into the parliament. Especially you can consider the monsoon session and the budget session. I think these are the most recent for now, and they become very important for you. So under DNA bill, DNA testing has been allowed only with respect to the schedule that is given in the bill. So all the offences which are included in your IPC Act are also present here. There's this provision for National DNA Data Bank, that is also correct. There's provision for Regional DNA Data Bank, that is also correct. The idea of regulation has also been taken care of. The bill also provides for conditions where DNA profiles can be removed of a person. So that is also the idea of privacy is also kept intact in some ideas in this particular bill. So yeah, a couple of things related to labs also, there are certain provisions. So both the statements in this question is right, and the answer is C. Let's move on to the next question of the day, which is related to registered unrecognized political party. Now this particular topic was there in your current affairs. So it's important that you're aware about what are the different political parties that have been registered and which have been recognized, what are the benefits that they get, on what basis are they recognized or not recognized. Like there's a very common topic of national parties and state parties and regional parties. Even there is the set of criteria that has to be followed with respect to that kind of recognition. So that is important. So here what we're talking about is you have to again be very careful. You have to identify the incorrect statement with respect to registered unrecognized political party. So the first statement here is that these are political parties which have contested at least one assembly or general election since being registered. And second is these parties do not enjoy all the benefits that are extended to recognized party, right? So you have to identify the incorrect statement. So answer for this question is A. The first statement is in fact wrong here because recognized, registered, unrecognized political parties actually constitute any newly created or any newly registered political party, and they have not secured any kind of seats, percentage of seats in the assembly or general elections, right? Based upon which they can become a state party or a national party. So that is the idea here. Like whenever you read for national party and state party, there are certain number of seats that one has to have in the assembly or the state elections. Like if you need to be recognized, then there are a certain number of states in your party should have 1 seat, right? So that is the idea behind those parties. Now here, in case of registered unrecognized, they might not have done the elections and might have not secured the party place in the legislature, right? So that is the thing here. So that means the statement 1 becomes wrong here. Statement 2 is right. All these parties, they actually do not enjoy all the benefits that are given to the recognized parties. So that statement is in fact right. Now again, all the topics related to election commission also are important, even from mains point of view, I think. So yeah, these common terminology should be very much clear to you, and the answer for this particular question is A. Let's move on to the final question of the day, which is related to CAT. Now, tribunals have been in news again, like recently Supreme Court has been talking about how do we clear out the tribunals, how do we reduce the number of them. So there was also some certain talks about reducing the number of tribunals have also been reduced. So in one form or the another, there has been a lot of talks upon the tribunals. So again, this topic becomes as a whole important. So anything related to it should be pretty much clear to you. So we start, for this particular question, we are talking about one particular type of tribunal, that is Central Administrative Tribunal. Now, the first statement with respect to this is that it exercises original jurisdiction in relation to recruitment and all service matters of all India services, central civil services, civil post under the center, and the members of defense forces. As soon as you see defense forces, I think it should strike to you that this statement is completely wrong. Yeah. Defense forces have a completely different system with respect to the job issues and the job grievances that has to be raised. That is not clubbed with civilian system. So that is, I think, that is also a very common sense kind of a thing that you can derive. The second statement here is that the appeal against the order of the CAT should be made only in the Supreme Court and not in the High Courts. And the statement here is that you have to identify the incorrect statement. So we've already identified the first statement is incorrect. So answer is actually A only. Your statement 2 is right. See, if you know, the judges of the tribunals have been given equal standing as a judge of a high court, right? So whatever appeal that has to be made now obviously will be made to a Supreme Court level. So, with respect to that ranking or that level of jurisdiction that exists here, like it's given equal standing as per the High Court. So obviously, the next appeal will be made in a higher court only. So with that logic, I think statement 2 is right here. CAT as a tribunal was set up back in 1985, and the principal bench is in Delhi with multiple benches in many different states. Jurisdiction, again, it's like we've discussed, it does have jurisdictions related to central services, your central post and all that stuff, and the members of the defense forces and the members of defense forces and related to, say, Supreme Court, and they are not covered in this particular act. Alright, so jurisdiction is not covering these ideas. Other than that, I think, the same level of judgment that a High Court judge can give is equivalent to this. So, again, this is only one tribunal that is there. There are a lot of different tribunals, like there's NGT, then there's other tribunals related to maybe a river tribunal, or other tribunals related to, say, income tax, other things, right? So the basic idea behind tribunals should be covered. You should have proper understanding. Even the constitutional provisions, they should be pretty much clear. What is the appointment procedure? What is the removal procedure? What is the eligibility criteria to be appointed as a judge in tribunal? That if that is also there, then you should be clear about that. So basically, the theme here was tribunal. make sure you cover it. Make sure all the current affairs that is related to it is done. So that's it for today, guys. Keep on studying, do register for the program, and all the best for your prelims.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update from Civilsdaily.